Being 3:03 p.m., we will start the April 24th meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority. Clerk, may you please call the roll?
Roger Dickinson, Karina Talamontes, Phil Pluckybaum, Katie Maple,
Here.
Mai Vang,
Here.
Phil Cerna,
Here.
Patrick Kennedy, Rich Desmond, Rosario Rodriguez, Pat Hume, Mary Jane Lopez Taff, Rod Brewer, Kevin Spees,
Present.
Tim Reed, Joe Little, Bina Lefkowitz. Here. Nick Blois. And we have a quorum with 8 members present.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Clerk. Meeting is the item 1.2 meeting statement.
Yeah. This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is broadcast live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net.gov. Today's meeting replays Saturday, April 26 at 4 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available upon request no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should complete a speaker identification form located at the back table and give it to the clerk. Members attending via Zoom should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard.
Thank you. And now we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody, if you're able, please rise. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we'll move on to item number 2, public comment on matters not on the agenda. Do we have any cards or requests from the public? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to presentations. Item 3.1, Friends of the Sacramento Public Library. Devon?
And members of the JPA really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Devon Graves. I serve as the Vice President for the Friends of the Sacramento Public Library, the official fundraising partner to the library, and the official group that represents communities across the Sacramento region passionate about our libraries. So I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I don't mean to jump ahead, but I do want to give a shout out to the National Volunteer Week proclamation that you have on the agenda. As you know, a lot of those hours mean a lot to the library, and we know that several of our Friends members make up some of those hours. And so just want to thank the library for that recognition and always reminding our volunteers to log their hours because that's important. So my colleagues would tell me to remind folks to please log your hours. Those volunteer hours matter so much. But I want to just spend the bulk of time talking about Big Day of Giving. I'm sure you're familiar with that, and I continue sharing updates on that. Early giving has already started, and the Friends have begun our process of fundraising for the library's programs of Book First and Summer Reading. So we really appreciate the partnership with the library on this work. We have a goal of raising $85,000 for those programs, and so your support would be greatly appreciated. I sent out a message earlier for those on from the board to have links directly to our Facebook, our Twitter, and Instagram. We'd appreciate any sharing, likes, anything that you can do, including in your newsletters or whatnot. I'm sure you're supporting multiple organizations, so I would really, really appreciate if you remember the Friends and the work that we're doing on behalf of the library that day. I also want to just say thank you to Director Coyle and his team for the work. I don't know if you saw the newsletter that went out from the library this week, but the first story was talking about the big day of giving, and so that was a huge boost to the campaign. So thank you, Director Coyle, and thank you to Lisa Martinez and Jessica Gabbard for the comm team. You all know the library staff are some of the most awesome and committed folks, and so we couldn't do this work as a volunteer organization without their help. So we're going to continue promoting this work, and we just ask continued partnership on this all the way through May 1st as we reach towards that goal. Last couple things of items of business. The next Friends meeting will be May 13th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. Definitely open to anyone that wants to participate and engage with the Friends. And then lastly, our All Friends meeting, where all of our friends from across the region, all the affiliates will be coming together on June 22nd at 2 p.m. meeting at the North Natomas Library. So if you're able to be there, it's a great space to be able to engage with those from the community who are advocates on behalf of our library. As always, thank you for the opportunity to report on behalf of the Friends, and I'm happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you for your presentation, Devon, and definitely thank you for your message earlier today on Big Day of Giving, because I completely fogged my memory. But knowing that it's right around the corner, being next Friday, I definitely want to make sure that I'm one of the people that give a pledge to show our support. And so definitely all for that. Any comments or questions from our fellow directors? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And so now we have presentation 3.2, National Volunteer Week Proclamation.
Hello. Thank you to the board for your time today. Hello and happy National Volunteer Week and Global Volunteer Month. My name is Christina Conley, and I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Sacramento Public Library. Library volunteers reflect the very best of SPL and its community. They change lives every day through their advocacy for library services, and I'm consistently both impressed and touched by the stories that they share with me about what serving their community means to them. In a little bit, we'll get to hear from two amazing volunteers today, Steve and Natalie. They will share a little bit about why they love volunteering. Let me go. So the first slide that I have is the mission statement and vision statement of the Sacramento Public Library. In alignment with our mission statement, our volunteer program empowers community members to learn new skills, connect with their community, and fulfill personal goals. Our volunteers also represent SBL's vision of creating a welcoming space for all as they provide us with valuable insight into community needs and aspirations. Now I'm going to turn it over to Community Engagement Services Manager Todd Deck to read our National Volunteer Week proclamation.
Thank you, Christina. Oh, Devon's still. Whereas National Volunteer Week will be celebrated in public libraries throughout the country and Sacramento County and all of the cities and communities therein from April 20th, 2025 to April 26th, 2025. And whereas in 2024, Sacramento Public Library volunteers were able to provide a total of 81,390 hours of service in libraries. Examples of the volunteer service provided include adult and teen volunteers providing 22,482 hours in support of library operations, adult literacy volunteers providing 8,045 hours of tutoring for adults wanting to improve their education levels, and 40,724 Friends volunteer hours with branch affiliates, book sorting and sales, assisting with the Book First initiative, election support, and supporting the Book Den. And whereas volunteers show their commitment to service to the community by homework coaching, English conversation group facilitation, adult literacy tutoring, make and take kit assembly, data entry, shelf reading, book sorting, book selling, job coaching, advocacy, and outreach, tongue twister, and outreach participation. And whereas volunteers are passionate about Sacramento Public Library and the communities it serves. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board does hereby proclaim April 20th through April 26th as National Volunteer Week. And thanks to the 1,479 volunteers who support and enhance our libraries.
Thank you, Todd. So like the proclamation mentioned, these are the number of volunteers and the total volunteer hours for 2024. So we had 1,479 volunteers with 81,390 hours, which is amazing. And this is an hour breakdown. So you can see, obviously, the Friends of the Library, huge support for us. We also get a lot of support for general library operations, adult literacy, Lunch the Library program, and the Teen Advisory Board. Approximately 250 hours supporting the facilitation of virtual English conversation groups. Volunteers facilitated the Read to a Dog program at 4 locations, and over 100 volunteers monitored ballot boxes on Election Day, with many of those being Friends members. Here are some pictures from different programs. So we have some Lunch at the Library volunteers, Read to a Dog volunteers. This is at the Carmichael branch. It's a really beloved program. It's been going on for, I want to say 15 or 16 years now, with many of the same volunteers the entire time. So it's pretty amazing. Election Day photos. We wouldn't be the same without our friends on Election Day. These are some community engagement services volunteers. And next, I want to first highlight Natalie Nelson, who has donated 73 hours for our SBL and has volunteered for 1.5 years now. Natalie is an MLIS student and future library worker. So Natalie, if you'd like to come up and share.
Okay. So as you can probably guess, I love volunteering for the Sacramento Public Library. After the pandemic, the library became a place where I found community and connection. Volunteering has allowed me to see the direct impact of my work, and I feel proud to serve in a space where every community member truly belongs.
Thank you, Natalie. Let's see. And I just also wanted to say, forgot to say this to introduce Natalie, but I first met Natalie in 2023. I was the branch volunteer coordinator at the McKinley Library. Natalie is truly one of the kindest people I know, and working with her over the years has been a joy. And so next, I want to introduce Steve. Steve, I have not had the pleasure of working with Steve directly yet, but he's an incredibly valued SBL volunteer for over 8 years now, and I'm so impressed with his dedication to serving the library and, in turn, his community. What's really cool about Steve is he's both a general and Friends member, Friends volunteer. So Steve, if you'd like to come up and share.
Thank you, Christine. I patronized the Robbie Waters Pocket Greenhaven branch of the library since I just live a few blocks away. I think that libraries are an essential community asset that provides a variety of services in addition to books, movies, games, and music. I use the library a lot since I'm a member of a speculative fiction book club that meets monthly, and recently we've absorbed a number of members who joined our book club after the Sacktown Sci-Fi book club that the library used to operate closed due to staffing issues. And I get all my books for that book club from the library. In addition, I watch most of my new release movies on DVD from the library also. Since I'm a heavy user of the library, I felt that I should give back to the institution by volunteering my time after I retired. So the main task that I do at the library is handling the pick list once a week, which is pulling books from the library that are requested by users, both from this library branch, from this library system, and other library systems through the Link Plus program. I enjoy finding out what books are trending by seeing what's requested. I also get to know where to find all the different types of materials, so it's an educational experience. As Christine mentioned, I'm also a member of the Friends of the Library Board for the branch. We meet once a quarter to decide how to raise and spend additional money to support the library over and above what's allocated from its public budget. We operate a bookstore where we sell books donated to the library and use the proceeds to support, for example, our seed library, our Lucky Day books and DVDs, equipment purchases, the Book First program, and Staff Appreciation Day, among other things. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Steve. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time. And if there are any questions for me or the volunteers, I think we'd be happy to take them now.
Thank you so much, Christine. Any questions from our directors? Director Maple.
I don't have any questions, but I just really wanted to share my sincere gratitude to the work that you all do every day, and you help the libraries function and run smoothly, and even when we have limited resources. So just really grateful. Thank you.
I second that.
And I'm very grateful because volunteers definitely help keep everything moving on a day-to-day basis. And for Natalie, for you to take time out of your schedule, and Steve volunteering your time as well, it really means a lot because there's so many things that has to be done during the day-to-day inside the library that staff are unable to do, and there's only so much that we can do. And so anytime where people can come in and lend that helping hand is always value added. So I want to thank you, and please continue doing what you're doing. And if there's anyone that you know that would be interested in volunteering their time to the library, send them to Christine's way. We'll definitely find a place for you. Director Lefkowitz.
I also am grateful for the work you're doing. Just impressed again with how the library connects to the community and provides a safe place for people to contribute. A curiosity I have is, so the County Office of Ed and our school districts run a fair amount of programs for special ed, disabled special ed kids. And some of the groups we work with actually go up to age 22, 18 to 22. And I was just curious if you all ever connect to that community through maybe our schools. And if not, I'd love to support something like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I haven't connected with that community through schools as much, but I'm really glad you bring that up because that's another good avenue for me to explore. I have been working on building many community partnerships with several organizations that support folks specifically with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It's something that I'm personally very passionate about, and not only that, but we do have a large interest from those organizations supporting those folks, especially to get to have job skill building opportunities. So it's definitely something I'm actively working on, but the school idea is another great avenue, so I will definitely explore that as well. Yeah.
If there are no additional questions, we'd like to take a picture with both Natalie and Steve and yourselves as well, the whole team. So we will join you down here.
Thank you so much for your time today.
I don't. I think my 20s were so chaotic. My 30s. I could say 30 something forever. That would be cool.
So now we will move on to item 3.3, National Library Workers' Day Proclamation. Do we have someone here to provide that presentation for us?
Chair Brewer, I am assigned to do that, if that's all right with you.
Director Coyle, the voice from the sky.
Something like that.
Take it away.
Yeah, thank you all for the time to talk to you about this. We were delighted and grateful for the board. We had a delayed opening on the 11th to allow our staff to celebrate National Library Workers' Day, and that time in that morning allowed our staff to do some team building and some other activities related to the library work. And so we did that as an expression of our appreciation for the staff of the hard work they do, and I think it was enjoyed by all our staff that were able to take part in that. And so with that as a backdrop, I'll begin the proclamation. A proclamation recognizing Sacramento Public Library staff, National Library Workers' Day 2025. Whereas National Library Workers' Day is observed throughout the county and in Sacramento as a day for library staff to be recognized for the contributions they make in communities across North America. And whereas National Library Workers' Day was observed on April 8th, 2025, as part of National Library Week, a celebration which began in 1958 to highlight the invaluable role libraries play in the community. And whereas National Library Workers' Day celebrates the employees who work tirelessly to transform lives and strengthen the communities by providing vital and necessary services in literacy, education, and entertainment. And whereas the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board expresses its admiration to the staff of Sacramento Public Library, who daily strive to better our community through improving the lives of those who use its services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Sacramento Public Library Authority Board does hereby recognize the employees of the Sacramento Public Library and their dedication to the residents of Sacramento County through their excellent programs, customer service, and community building.
Here, here.
All right, let's give a hand for that too.
Yes.
And it's great that we're giving the recognition, even though it was on April 8th. I'm glad that we're giving the recognition today and as a tie-in to our recognition for National Volunteer Week, because the work that you and your staff performs along with the librarians at all of the different branches really speaks to how we provide service to the public, and provide it gladly, because it's information that people are seeking. And on top of that, people want to feel like that they're in a safe place, a place where they can learn, a place where they can let their mind go free, and just if they're not taking a book home, they're having a book there and they're reading it, and they're doing it in an environment that doesn't put them in any sort of jeopardy, and that's always helpful when you have that sort of a dynamic, because libraries are supposed to be that. Any comments from or questions from any of our directors? Hearing and seeing none. Thank you, Director Coyle, voice from the sky, but you are not let off the hook, because now we go to the executive team report.
Great. Well, thank you again, Chair Brewer and members of the board. Greetings from Chicago. I am at the American Library Association headquarters. We are in the middle of our spring executive board meeting. And as a fun fact, 5 of the other board members are also doing their board meetings at the same time from headquarters. So we're in good company here. I have a written report, and I want to highlight a number of things from that. But before I do, I want to thank the Friends for their support of the library. I think what was said earlier about Big Dave Giving, it's a mutual admiration society. The Friends really do a lot of work for the community and for the library, and we're very appreciative of them. And we're very happy to support their efforts for Big Dave Giving to raise money for these important library programs. So we want to thank them for their dedication, and our volunteers as well for spending their time. There's lots of things that people can choose to do with their time, and that people choose to give back to the library is monumental, and it means a lot to not just myself, but I think all of the staff in all our locations. So I want to thank them for that. I will start with the back part of my written report and just highlight the Lucha Libre program, which is going to be happening this weekend. I am heartbroken to miss it. It looks really exciting, and we're very excited to celebrate this cultural experience with the community, and we're really excited to bring this experience and celebration to our community. So we hope folks will be able to attend that. And we're really looking forward to a great success of that. And I also wanted to highlight, I know Director Lefkowitz, we've spoken about SCOE, and just wanted to highlight one of the continuing partnerships we have with SCOE with the literacy fair, that our youth services team participated in. So we continue to try and bolster our relationships in the community, and looking forward to having some more reports from the staff on our foray with SCOE in a future board meeting. And then I'll highlight just the things that are taking a lot of our time. We have a lot of building projects that we've been waiting for, and now they're all in progress. So now the work is progressing in earnest. We were really grateful to be able to go and do a hard hat tour of the initial work that's being done on the Elk Grove Library. And we will at some point work with the City of Elk Grove to offer hard hat tours for potential board members and others. We're not sure when that will happen, but we definitely want to make sure that happens as well. And we're looking towards offering that at a later date for our other projects as well. These are projects that are really partnerships with our jurisdictions, and I want to express our appreciation to all of the jurisdictions we're working with on these projects. Very talented group of professionals who are really helping these projects shepherd to completion, and we're looking forward to the great work when these are all completed. And I think those are the things I wanted to highlight, and I wanted to give Director Keller an opportunity if he wanted to add anything to the facilities issues. I don't know if there's anything more that we'd like to share or not, but if that's appropriate.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Just to Peter's point, there's a lot of building projects underway. So what that's going to mean is during the summer, we are going to see a lot of library closures system-wide. We are working with the jurisdictions to try to ensure that we have at least one library open regionally. So those are projects that are going to start around June timeframe and go through February of next year. Our jurisdictions are really trying to complete the projects funded by the Building Forward Infrastructure Grant Program through the California State Library. So there's going to be a lot of really needed HVAC, ADA enhancements, as well as ADA path of travel. So we're excited these are happening. We're not always happy that the library will be closed, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we have at least one location open per region.
Thank you, Jared. And we'll do our best to communicate with the board when those closures are as soon as we know them. Oftentimes these projects, because of the multi-jurisdictions and the vendors, we don't often get a whole lot of lead time, but we will do our best to inform the board. And of course, our comm team does a good job of notifying our users ahead of time as well. But we will definitely keep you all up to date on those projects. And I think I'll end my report there unless there are questions or comments or other things that the board has for me.
Director Maple.
Hi, yes, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. I actually just have a quick question. It was not necessarily related to anything that you presented on, but I did get a constituent question about the timeline for the reopening of the Colonial Heights Library, and was wondering if you happen to know that off the top of your head.
Yeah, Director Maple, I'll let Deputy Director Kelly give more details, but at this point, it's a City of Sacramento project because they are the ones handling the building. So our involvement at this point is very minor.
The City of who?
Sorry, what did I say?
Sounds like I need to direct my question to our staff. I can do that. Thank you.
Oh, well, I think Jared might have some more general detail on that.
Yeah. So the city of Sacramento has been working closely with Belfor, which is the remediation company. But important to note, the city council is still going to have to take action because the city of Sacramento has not settled the insurance claim. Only Sacramento Public Library has settled the insurance claim. So Belfor has done some basic work to the main part of the branch. They've also changed, the scope's been changed a little bit as well to also work concurrently on the community room. So what this means is when the library opens, both the public area as well as the community room will reopen. But there's still a lot of significant work that has to be done, specifically the fire damage, the HVAC components, which you may not be aware, those are very difficult to source these days. So, but the library has worked on opening what we call our opening day collection for purchasing books as well as the furniture and other materials. But there's still a lot of work that needs to occur, and the city can more appropriately provide a timeline for that.
Fabulous. Well, I think myself and my colleagues from the city of Sacramento here can arrange that. So thank you very much.
And with the closures that'll be taking place, we're doing, is the plan to close one per region or one every month? How is that?
Well, we're still working through that with the County of Sacramento because that's where the primary closures will be. For an example, there's HVAC projects that need to happen in the North Highlands branch, the Fair Oaks branch, the Arden Dimick branch, and the Arcade branch. So with the way that we're looking at doing it is the county would have 2 locations closed and then we would have 2 others open. Now, depending on whether or not they're able to source materials and or get more another contractor on board, then a worst case scenario, we would go down to just 1 branch. But we will work very closely with the county, provide a lot of notification, and figure out what's the best way we can also augment services if we have multiple closures.
Okay, because my concern obviously would be having nearby branches available, especially during those summer months, because as we know, libraries also double as cooling centers.
Yes.
And so it's just making sure that they have that contingencies are in place just in the event of. So this is helpful. And obviously there'll be some sort of like news or information that will go out to inform the public a couple of weeks in advance, if not a month in advance and a week before, so people can make plans just in the event of we have those early hot days.
Yes, yeah, we always work closely with our jurisdictions, and we try to. Sometimes we don't always get as much notification as we would like from the jurisdictions, but we do work very closely, and we ask for a minimum of 4 to 8 weeks notice so that we can notify everyone.
Thank you very much, Jared.
Yeah. And Director Brewer, I'll also say our comm team were able to send targeted emails to people based on their home libraries. And so we'll do our best to make sure that the people impacted by that closure get a specific notice as well, as far as we're able to do that.
Good deal. Yeah, because it's going to be that will be very important for the public to be aware of when all of these changes are going to take place. So no one has to go to a branch or their specific branch and find out that the doors are locked. And
yeah, summer is our busiest time. We got summer reading lunch at the library and a whole bunch of other things. So we definitely want to make sure that we're able to still provide the services to the community. So we will do our best to do that the best way we can.
Good deal. Thank you so much. Any comments or questions from our fellow directors? Director Rodriguez?
I just want to say thank you for these little fanny packs as we head out to cap. It's always nice to wear things that represent the area where you're from. So I'll proudly wear my Sacramento Library, Public Library fanny pack. Thank you.
We're very fashion forward at the library. So glad we can help you with that.
You're going to need proof of life photos too. So hearing and seeing no other questions or comments, I want to thank you for the executive report. And now we move to item 5, information. These are items that regarding our quarterly treasurer's report and financial report. I trust that we have read this informational material. Does anyone have any questions to ask of Mr. Ia while he's here? Are we good, Roger? Okay. So with that said, we will move on to the consent calendar. We do have 8 items on the agenda for the consent calendar.
I'll move consent.
Okay. Any questions from the public or comments from the public? Hearing and seeing none, we have a first from Director Maple, a second from Director Rodriguez. Do we have any questions or comments from our fellow directors? Director Lefkowitz.
Yeah, it was more of some questions, not any concerns, but just some questions on the, I believe it was on the CPS HR contract. And has our Human Services Manager position been vacant since May of 2024, or is there like a director of HR and then that's underneath them? Just, that's one of my questions, just how long has that been vacant?
Sure, Director Lefkowitz. I can't tell you for sure the exact date, but it has been a significant amount of time. We hired this firm to do some interim work. We realized that there were many areas after that started that needed fixing before we could bring on a manager and set them up for success. They've been spending the last year really right-sizing the department, modernizing our policies and our procedures. And so it has been, on our org chart, it has been vacant, but we've had a competent consultant in that role for the last number of months, and they've been reporting directly to me. So on the org chart, it has been vacant, but someone has been filling that position. So it hasn't been stagnant.
Okay, that's good. And it sounds like they're doing some good work to set you up for success when you hire your person. So that's
yes, and
thoughtful.
Yes, and our hope is that we'll have that person selected and by the end of the summer.
Okay. And then my next question really I'm curious about, do we have many vacancies? Do we have trouble filling them? And I'm asking because there is a lot of work going on in the region here around trying to tie employment, particularly, I think, not just in the public sector, but trying to link our folks who live in our more vulnerable neighborhoods to potential living wage jobs. And I just want to see if that's on the radar, if we need to hire people, if that's something we're thinking about.
Yeah, I would say our recruiting is it's frequent in terms of we have a good number of applicants. I wouldn't say we have difficulty filling roles. I think if anything, we often get more applicants than we anticipate. People want to work for the library, and we do offer very good benefits and wages. So I think some of the more, I might say more specialized roles are sometimes a little bit more difficult. But the majority of our jobs, I think we have a good number of candidates that apply, and I wouldn't characterize it as difficult to fill.
Okay, that's great. And then I guess the last part of that question just has to do with our intentionality about reaching out to communities that maybe don't always have opportunity and seeing, because this is a great institution to work for. And so I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, we do a lot of job postings, industry specific. For example, for librarians, we post to groups that represent folks who are traditionally unrepresented or not as represented. For example, there's the Black Caucus of the American Library Association. There's a group called Reforma, which is specific for those who speak Spanish. So we do those specific for the professional jobs. And then the other jobs, we generally post them they go on government jobs, and those are aggregated out to some other searches. I can get you more information on the outreach we do for those positions. I don't have that in front of me at this point. We can definitely get that to you and share how we handle the recruitment to ensure we have a diverse pool of candidates.
Additional questions or comments from the directors? Hearing and seeing none, clerk, may we please call the roll for a vote?
Roger Dickinson. Aye. Karina Talamontes. Aye. Phil Pluckybaum. Katie Maple. Aye. Mai Vang. Yes. Phil Cerna.
Aye.
Patrick Kennedy. Rich Desmond. Rosario Rodriguez. Aye. Pat Hume. Mary Jane Lopez Taff.
Aye.
Rod Brewer.
Aye.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Tim Reed, Joe Little, Bina Lefkowitz,
Yes.
Nick Blois.
Aye.
Motion passes with 9 members voting.
Thank you, Clerk. For item number 7, for action items, we have none. Number 8, reports, ideas, and questions from board members. Any items from our fellow directors? Anyone online virtually? Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on to item 9, which is the magic hour that everyone has looked forward to. Want to wish Director Cerna a very happy birthday.
Birthday to you. You don't want to hear it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cerna. Happy birthday to you. And many more, 10 of 4.
We also have another celebration. Director Maple will be a married woman.
That's
by
right.
the time we see her next time.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's sweet. Thank you very much.
All right. So with that said, and I love that we're leaving on a high note at 3:44. I want to wish everyone a great week, and we will see you next month. Meeting adjourned.